Hello. I'm doing another review today. This one's the Magic Genius of the Marquis house. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, that's rude. And the general gist is that I'm gonna give you a straight up rating at the front and then explain why I gave you that rating afterwards. So if you want to leave after you get the rating, fine. A little rude, but whatever. Alright, so for this story, general rating, I'm gonna give it like a 7. It, I think 7 is the rating that I give to anything that does what it wants to do fine, but doesn't necessarily go much further. Alright, so let's get into a little bit of the, reasoning. Well, I guess I'll start with, like, the story. This is the main character. Of course it's an isekai, because every story I talk about is an isekai. And he's reincarnated into a game that he played for like 10 years and he's the best at, and blah blah blah. And he's basically reincarnated as a character that's like fated to die. His character is like, has everything going wrong. They have like a terminal illness that, because like their magic pathways are blocked and they'll die at like 20. Just suck at everything. No one likes them. Everything just blows, and they're reincarnated as that guy. Of course, every series does that, right? Like they always reincarnate the character as the worst person ever, but of course they can get out of it because plot armor. All right, getting into some of the major things, because like the general gist is just that it's, oh, he's going and doing all these different things to survive. Oh, I'm gonna gain more power. I'm gonna gain more followers. I'm gonna do whatever, right? So yeah, he's the youngest son of the house. The general idea, I guess, of the story is there are two brothers. This is, the nice brother, I would say. And then there's the not so nice brother. I'm pretty sure this guy's name is literally Adolf, which don't know too many nice people with that name, but hey, yeah, hey, whatever. And yeah. He's going to start like a whole bunch of problems from the original game, like, basically summoning an army of demons and blah blah blah. And the main character is kind of just navigating the situation to keep himself alive in such a precarious scenario. Yeah, the main character goes about gathering power, gathering, followers, showing off abilities, learning how to, like, deal with this illness that he's found a secret way to get across, like get through, I guess, that, no one else would even consider. Yeah, basic idea, right? Gains power, does different things. Of course, there's the tropes of like, oh, he has a status window that shows him all these different things. Oh, he has like a favorability meter. They could see like, oh, this person likes him, this person hates him. Basic tropes, nothing special. Designs, nothing special. The art, I think, is good. Like, again, I think this is a solid, like, 7 in terms of art. I think that all the tropes are done, they're tropes, but they're done well enough where I can at least say that, like, it's, story-wise, we're talking, like, a 7. I think the thing that stood out to me why that made me, like, about it is like, this guy is a dick. His dad is like an asshole. It's like his son basically has a terminal illness, right? And he is like a complete dick. He's like, oh, you're useless, you're weak. And in the story, they literally say when his character's like 6 or I think it's like 5 or 6, he calls him like a weak and pathetic loser that doesn't deserve to be a part of this house. Like, holy God! And then, like, he kind of gives off this vibe when you meet him later that he, like, actually cares about his son or whatever. It's like, why would you say that then? And then he's surprised when his son acts out? Like, Jesus. I feel like if anyone was told that when they're, like, 5 or 6, they wouldn't be, like, the best person ever. I feel like you're kind of setting him up for failure. I don't know. It's just like, oh my God, his dad is such a dick. He, like... He does all these things where you're like, oh, he clearly actually likes his son or whatever. It's like, yeah, but if you say that to a terminally ill child, like you say he's pathetic and weak and worthless, It's like, of course he's going to act out and things like that. And then they make it seem like he's that fault. And then like even in the main story when it starts, he's like the main character's like 13 and they're like he still acts like a child. He is a child. What do you mean? I don't know many 13-year-olds that act so mature. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's like, oh my god. This guy, you know, he is like terrible. I don't like him. And they don't really play it like he's like the worst person ever. They kind of play it like he's sympathetic. And I'm like, I have no sympathy for you. You treated your child like shit. and then you like you're upset at them when they act out. It's like you did that. You're the reason they act out. I don't know, man. It's like, whew, I don't like his dad. I think the only other two like kind of prominent characters, there's this girl who I in a way she kind of shows that the original owner of that body, of like the main character's body, like the original character, is actually like not that bad of a person. Like she was of course being sold at like, you know, it's fantasy, they do like, you know, like things like that, you know what I mean. But then he like instantly frees her and everything, and it's not even when the main character is, you know, a part of the picture, it's when like the original guy was there, and it's like, oh, so he wasn't really that bad of a person, I guess. He's like sympathetic, I guess, toward people in hard situations, which is like, I don't really feel like the original guy was that bad. It was more so just poor parenting. But she has like spirit magic, and of course she summons like the most powerful one, because isekai. It's just a trope, I guess. Everyone has to be OP. Yeah, and she's okay, and it's like, oh, it's kind of cute, like her and like, you know, admiring him and everything. It's like, aw, that's sweet. But yeah, nothing special really there. It's pretty basic. Then there's this guy who's like his knight and like guard or whatever. Who I also kind of like. I mean, he was a little more sympathetic, I think, than the main character's father. You know, he was like, you know, upset about what that guy said, and, you know, seemed to be a little more caring. At least to some degree. As far as like being anything special, I mean, again, it's like the last character. They're kind of like, you know, basic knight character that's super loyal and steadfast, and, you know, generic. It has like, you know, that trope in a lot of isekais where it's like anything the main character does, they have a rationale for why it's like, you know, incredible or okay. But yeah, pretty basic. I mean, I don't think any of the other characters really stand out that much. I mean, I like elements of it, you know, like I said, like some little ideas that come out here and there. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. But, you know, nothing stands out or anything as anything like super special throughout the series. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the bulk of it. I think the only other noteworthy thing is, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but this character, morally speaking, is very questionable. Like, they do some things where I'm like, that is just straight up not something a good character would do. And I feel like they're trying to make it seem like, oh, that was normal, and it's like, no, that wasn't that normal. You know? Like, you know, I'm not going to get into any details, but like, leading to someone's death is, you know, not too far off straight up just killing somebody, and he does it with that, you know, when I think you could probably do other things to alleviate or remedy the situation rather than just icing people. Just saying. You know, hey, whatever, you know, but he's morally questionable, let's say. Yeah, I mean, overall, the series, it's nothing special. It's, like I said, I'd give it like a 7, because it does... 7 to me is where it's like, it's, you know, a fun read, but you're going to forget it. It's like forgettably good. Like, there are elements I like, and it's satisfying to read, and I enjoy it, but it's forgettable. doesn't do anything like I would say is new. I didn't see anything from reading it that I would say is new. For the sake of this, I think I read like 21 chapters, and really nothing, that nothing stood out to me as like, oh, I've never seen that before, or that's new, or that's done a different way. It's all like, pretty by the books. All the tropes that they use I've seen, before. I think the only reason I wouldn't give it a lower score because of the tropes, it at least used a couple in tandem that I don't see as often, which I think created some fun moments. Overall, though, like I said, 7. It's relatively fine, reading it, but you're not really going to remember it that much. It's kind of like a forgettable, like, it's all right. It's nothing special, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. I'd appreciate it if you could like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. Maybe let me know if there's another series that you want me to talk about. I might have already read it, but who cares? I'll read it again and talk about it. I don't know. But yeah, I'll see ya.